A truly remarkable horror film can breach itself outside the confines of the film. For every child that found that they were afraid to sleep with their feet dangling over the edge of the bed, for fear that they may suddenly feel the sensation of something's unwelcome touch, you can find an adult that is afraid of the exact same thing. A truly remarkable horror film will linger with you long after the film has ended, and perhaps even confirm for you that, as a matter of fact, it is unwise to sleep with your feet dangling over the edge. Just like it might be wise to not venture outside too far from your home, or in the dark, or in the water. In 1975, a film was unleashed that shook the entire world. A phenomena that single-handedly made everyone afraid to go into the water. A film that could so easily swim into your subconscious that you may never want to dip your feet in again. A primal beast of a movie.
Come on down and chum some of this shit.
That took the box office by storm and became the first renowned blockbuster movie ever created.
It's going to be one of the best summers we've ever had.
The standard for animal attack films, and a glorified example of how suspense, subtlety, and the common unanimous fear of what you can't always see is the perfect cocktail to freeze your blood in your veins and force you to hold your breath. In 1975, the entire world screamed. Steven Spielberg's Jaws, adapted from a novel by Peter Benchley. Spielberg managed to take a low-budget production, burdened by incredibly difficult on-set issues and delays.
There was a catastrophe going on.
I had never experienced anything like this before.
We thought we were going to be there for the rest of our lives.
Steven was fired every day.
When I thought, oh my God, what have I done?
All over the island through the radio mics, you could hear,
"The shark is not working. The shark is not working."
And against all odds, create a film so beloved and renowned that it is often considered one of the greatest films of all time. The simple premise of a great white shark terrorizing a small beach community during its annual celebrations over 4th of July weekend.
I pulled a tooth the size of a shot glass out of the wrecked hull of a boat out there, and it was the tooth of a great white.
Would wind up being the stuff of nightmares, panicking audiences.
You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
And is still as effective today as it was then. Saying this film inspires me is an understatement. Saying that I never grow tired of the film is not an exaggeration. Jaws is a golden standard for exactly how to craft and pace suspense.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Action,
Smile, you son of a bitch!
and horror in equal measures. Its atmosphere is something truly special. Much credit is given to the natural magic that Spielberg has to cast over his best movies.
She broke my heart.
But the cast, their chemistry, the balance of humor and fear.
That I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
And use of when the shark is and isn't shown create an aura of what feels like perfect filmmaking. And no matter how far we are pulled from the water,
He's gone under. He's gone under the boat. I think he's gone under the boat.
the film understands to never let us forget what danger lurks just beneath the surface.
I don't want him on the ocean.
He's not on the ocean, he is in a boat. He's not going to go in the water. I don't think he'll ever go in the water again after what happened yesterday.
The horrors get taken to even further depths when accompanied by John Williams' brilliant music score that, with the use of only 2 notes, has frightened people away from ever going back into the water.
They're up again! Now what?
Jaws is so high on my list of great suspense films that I admittedly struggle to narrow it down to one scene. So I am going to cheat a little bit, and tonight let you dip your toe into one scene before fully submerging you in the other.
Charlie, take my word for it. Don't look back. Swim, Charlie. Swim. Come on,
I personally find the ocean to be about the most frightening place on Earth. No matter what conventional and non-conventional places fill you with dread, there is absolutely nothing like the endless blue of the mysterious ocean, where living monsters can literally dwell beneath your feet. And where once history is claimed, the sea will never give it back. We know more knowledge about the universe around us than we do our own ocean floors. And at a young age, when I was discovering this dampening feeling of fear towards open water, moments like this one did not help.
All in the sheet, make it fast. Hey, you guys. You guys okay over there?
It was this image that will stay with me forever. A murky glimpse of the horrors that roam just beneath the glassy surface of the ocean. And I don't know if I have ever so much as swam in a lake without this image appearing in my head. To me, this image is fear personified. The scene, though, that I feel deserves the most credit for being a kind of inspiration to me, and one that knives its dorsal fin into your psyche and exemplifies why this concept was ripe for nightmares to begin with, is the wonderfully delivered story from a character by the name of Quint, played by Robert Shaw, as he recollects the events of his personal experience aboard the USS Indianapolis the night it went down into the water.
What's that one? What? That one there, on your arm.
Oh, well, it's a tattoo. I got that removed.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Mother. What is it?
Mr. Hooper, that's the USS Indianapolis.
You were on the Indianapolis?
What happened? Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. He was coming back from the island of Tinian to Leyte. Just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. The vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger, 13-footer. You know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week. Very first light, Chief. Sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. It's kind of like old squares in a battle, like you see in a calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo. And the idea was, shark comes to the nearest man, that man he starts pounding and hollering and screaming. Sometimes the shark would go away. Sometimes he wouldn't go away. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you, and those black eyes roll over white, and then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces. By the end of that first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many sharks, maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men, they average 6 an hour. On Thursday morning, Chief, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland. Baseball player, bosun's mate. I thought he was asleep. Reached over to wake him up. Bobbed up and down in the water. It was like a kind of top. Upended. Well, he'd been bitten in half below the waist. Noon the 5th day, Mr. Hooper, Lockheed Ventura saw us. He swung in low and he saw us too. A young pilot, a lot younger than Mr. Hooper anyway. He saw us and he come in low, and 3 hours later, a big fat PBY comes down and started to pick us up. That was the time I was most frightened, waiting for my turn. I'll never put on a life jacket again. So 1,100 men went in the war. 316 men come out. The sharks took the rest June the 29th, 1945. Anyway, we delivered the bomb. What's that?
It's a whale.
This scene is one of my favorite stories told on screen, if not the. It is a true story that I feel captures our phobias of nature very well. The fear of open water, the fear of being helpless, and the fear of sharks. As a fan of sharks and how frightening they truly can be, I find it impossible not to hang on every word of this speech. The descriptions of the sharks swimming towards you, the unpredictable behavior, the eyes, the bite, followed by screams and blood in the water. I feel this description could only have been based on research to describe the realistic depiction of a shark attack. Robert Shaw's delivery Spielberg's understanding of storytelling, the dead stillness of the other two characters, and John Williams' music score at its most eerie, like a shark gliding in circles around us during the entire story. It is as if the shark is hauntingly present, and just like the giant fish in his domain, he is aware of your presence long before you are of his. Few films have had the staying power that Jaws has had. The film ceases to age, from its images, to its music, to the concept. It's so effective at getting into your subconscious that even after just one viewing, you may never go swimming again without the movie surfacing in your mind at least once. And for a brief moment, you may check your surroundings and consider what else may be swimming just below you. Some may view that this film doesn't qualify fully as a horror movie. But when a film frightens audiences all over the world decade after decade for all the right reasons, well, that's horror enough for me. And in my opinion, Jaws is one of the most frightening films ever made, and will always be among my very favorites.